The fourth installment in Legendary's Monsterverse, Godzilla vs. Kong, was bad, but the battles were immensely fun, hands down the best out of the entire franchise. The plot was throwaway garbage, as usual, but finally we got some excellent fights that at least made the movie worth sitting through. The brawls in the second half especially, with those neon lights, mwah! A lot of the combat had really nice flow, and while everything was cheesy as all heck, that was a good thing. The monster scuffles were a blast! Now, there is a slight caveat in why I was able to enjoy Godzilla vs. Kong more than its predecessors, and that's because I finally just 100% completely gave up on these movies capturing the sheer magnitude of the size of kaiju. I think the Monsterverse movies have been terrible at attributing proper scale, in part because you do have to limit how fast something can appear to be moving, and that's contrary to the frenetic brawls that Legendary apparently desires for its franchise. Like, from the perspective of wanting to see big fucking monsters fighting, these films do a bad job because the physics and even camera work are so contrary to what a more grounded portrayal of two beasts the size of skyscrapers falling over would be like. Shin Godzilla's scale-establishing shots, by the way, were so good. I was enamored by Shin Godzilla. The scene where the nictitating membrane covers Shinji's eyes.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
So anyway, for Godzilla vs. Kong, I basically just gave up on the concept of physics, but also I did try to pretend the buildings and monsters were like 10 times smaller than they're actually supposed to be. That being said, for me to be able to maintain that mental framework, the kaiju fights have to be spectacular otherwise, and they were. They were very nice.
That was Borat.
Okay, so that was like my view on recent Godzilla movies in general, but how do we make Godzilla vs. Kong better? How do we improve it? I actually think it would be fairly easy with the existing footage and minimal reshoots, and if any movie needs a big do-over, it's this one. So I have two ways to make this movie better, but they both start with the exact same thing. Remove everything with Eleven, Ricky Baker, and what feels like the spiritual successor to that guy who goes,
Idaho Plate,
in Transformers. Like, that whole conspiracy crew needs to be omitted entirely. It was awful as padding, it was awful as attempts at comedy, it was awful from an expository framework, and they make the Mechagodzilla fight worse! If you simply remove those three characters from the movie and make it so that the Kingzilla tag team is able to beat Mechagodzilla on their own, that right there is a far better, more condensed movie. All we really lose is the theme about having to be aware and take action when corporations are destroying the planet, but that was delivered through a conspiracy theorist vehicle anyway, so take that the fuck out! So that's an improvement anyone could just do with a video splitter at home, really. But for this movie to have been a real lasting piece of artful cinema, if you want this movie to be kino, I'm being facetiously pretentious as a joke, but you get the picture. If you want to make a movie where you care about the human side of events, they should have had one single focal human character, and it would obviously be the Kong Whisperer scientist, with the child who actually communicates with Kong being the supporting role. Every other character can be as one-note and cheesy as the evil CEO, just make their scenes go really fucking quickly, like all the CEO scenes did. The only human scenes that should take up a chunk of time and be given depth and, dare I say, nuance and subtext, should be the whole scientist, child, King Kong family unit. This would not only be rather fun to watch, but it would even further humanize the fuck out of Kong, and make Godzilla look like an even bigger dick, which is a good thing. In the Legendary Monsterverse, they have turned Godzilla into the dominant life form that wants to know that it's on top. Godzilla is a dick in these movies, a merciful and righteous dick, but Godzilla is still kind of an asshole if you're gonna personify. And I mean, that's really all it takes. Condense every other human except Eileen and Gia, and then make us bond with them and the big monkey. And that will make Kong's losses against Godzilla really hit the spot. I prefer this next alternate way though, go really avant-garde with it in a way that the execs would never allow, and sadly this won't exist because of that, but make the movie only like an hour long and then have there be absolutely zero dialogue. Make the whole movie primarily from Kong's point of view, like the only humans whose faces we should even be able to discern would be Gia's and Eileen's. All the other humans should look like ants. The underlying plot can be left pretty much exactly the same, although the goddamn conspiracy squad doesn't exist in my universe, of course, but have it be vaguely told indirectly through elements in the scenery, maybe aided along a little bit by the fact that Kong knows sign language. The plot is very basic, it would not be hard to make it deducible purely from background information. So yeah, just Big Monkey hanging out with the gals, until him, the big lizard, and the big robot lizard all go to town on each other! With highly unrealistic physics, but I'll take it. And bing bam boom! What a fun hour-long romp that could have been! Well, that's it from me. Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments, and if any of you are like, wow, this is the first video you've done in a while that's not about animation, I ask thee, is CGI not animation? Okay, bye. Oh, and Quadrupedal Godzilla is the best part of the movie.